Magic.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
All right. So let me turn this up a little bit here. And how do I do that?
How is my audio? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, very well. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to turn mine up here. Am I on this? Yeah. Okay. Someone speak, would you?
Sure. Hey, Bryon, when did you first start to get interested in the show? I mean, obviously when it was on, but you just one of your favorites?
Well, actually, I got two shows and you both are involved with both of them. The New Beaver Show and the Happy Days Show.
Excellent.
Um, my mother introduced me to Happy Days. I remember when I was a kid, she was like, it was obviously filmed during
Right.
that time in the
Uh-huh.
80s, but it took place in the 50s. And as I was thinking about this interview today, it just made me think, Ron Howard, who was in the Andy Griffith Show that was filmed in the 60s, 20 years later, a little over 20 years later, he did Happy Days, which took place in the 50s. So he went an extra decade back into time.
Yeah, I wish we
But
could do
yeah,
that. Yeah, that's funny. But it's funny, my father was a writer and he wrote some Andy Griffiths, and then Bryon and I ended up working on Happy Days, which was fun. Great, great guy.
right. Matter of fact, I remember seeing your father's name in an Andy Griffith credit,
Oh,
and it
wow.
made me think of that right away. Yeah.
Right.
And you actually, my good buddy Nick Bailey, he's doing a documentary on Heather O'Rourke.
Oh, sure. Right.
And yeah, he had talked to you about that documentary, which is
Well, no, I'm not interested.
well, well, yeah. So that's coming out. That's coming out in February. It's coming.
Oh,
It'll be available every streaming network, and it
Oh,
will,
really?
except for Netflix, because that's all they do is internal stuff. So,
well,
but
that's
yeah,
great. Glad it's getting aired. That's nice.
yeah. So the book, this thing is amazing. It's
Oh,
not quite, it's not quite as big as Bryan's book,
yeah.
but it's almost as big as Bryan's book. Although, I mean, if you want to do a workout, Bryan's book is
Yeah.
one to lift. I mean, this
It's-
thing is
Yeah.
yeah,
amazing.
Bryan's book is amazing.
Uh,
It is. And Bryan and I are a lot alike in the aspect that very nostalgic. I love this book because, I've always liked the older everything. I liked
Uh,
music before my time. I like TV shows before my time. And this book, like I'm a big collector and I'm looking at the cover of this book and it's got the Coca-Cola. I'm a big Coca-Cola collector guy.
oh, good.
So yeah, that's pretty neat there too. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And everything is in both books very visual, which is really, really cool.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it's a way to tell a story. And writing's too hard.
Yes, yes. And when you've done it all your life, your hand gets tired.
That's true.
But
That's
yeah.
so
So
when Fred and I worked together, Fred always did the vast majority of the typing. He was much better typist.
Oh, no, that's I'm the antithesis of that. Bryon is but yeah, we've worked together off and on for so many years, and it's just so much fun. Bryon brought me on to do Leave It to Beaver, and then we created a show called My Secret Identity. Bryon pitched it and then brought me in, and we just have a great working relationship and friendship. So it's a lot of fun.
nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's so how did you guys first meet during Happy Days then?
Yes, I started the Four Seas in 1976. Actually started in Laverne and Shirley, then went over to Happy Days. It's kind of a long story, but how I met
Good.
how I met Bryon is I'm on the stage. I go back to the writer producer's office, and a gentleman named Bob Brunner was producing at the time. And Bob, very interesting, funny guy, didn't get really hyped at all and enthusiastic, but he was so excited. He said, Fred, this young kid came in, pitched a billion stories. We could have done them all. and that's how Bryon and I met.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, cool. Cool.
And I did have a very successful meeting. I think they were having trouble coming up with stories, and I just spent a month doing nothing but. I didn't know. I came in with 26 ideas. I didn't know you were supposed to just come in with 3 or 4. Uh, and I was, and once they wanted the first one I pitched, which was very simple, and I knew it was my best idea, and I sold it in one sentence, which is basically there's a new sheriff in town, and he wants to get rid of all the hoods in Milwaukee, including Fonzie, and that became AKA the Fonz. And so I had a great story meeting. They let me do the outline. I'd done one previously. That went okay. They turned me loose on first draft. And right after I turned it in, they said, "We'll take it from here. It sucked." And they knew it, and I didn't. But they invited me in. Gary Marshall thought I needed seasoning. So they brought me in to watch and observe with the writers during the course of the week they shot the show, and I learned so much, so much from being in the room with Jerry Paris and Gary Marshall. And we didn't see Lowell that week. We saw Rothman, who was actually impressive. And Arthur Silver, Bob Brunner, who else was there? Joe Glauberg. Was Marty there? No, Marty wasn't there. Who else was there 4th season?
Oh, geez.
Not Charlotte.
Beat the Clock Rider. Bob Howard. Wasn't Bob Howard there?
No, his first season was 5.
Oh, that's right.
And was Bickley and Warren there that year? No. Anyways, I learned so much. And the next year they had me back to pitch, and again they bought the first story I pitched, and I was smarter. I didn't bring in a season, just a few. And this time when I turned in the script, they asked me to join the staff at $200 a week in a converted closet, meaning they put a light in it.
But it's just, we're so lucky to be a part of that. My father is writers, and growing up, I thought it was just so cool. Never entered my mind that I would do that. And then what's about Bryon, his first words when he was born was, action. I mean, he just knew he wanted to write and just such a student of the craft, and it was just so much fun working together.
Yeah, but it was a big difference watching TV and writing for TV.
Yes.
And both of us were so lucky to spend our apprenticeships in such a remarkable place. So the beauty of Happy Days was by the time we came along, it was a hit. We weren't there when they were suffering and pages were flying out the door to the stage to be filmed, and the second season where the show nearly expired, going from like 16th in the ratings to like 48th, and on the verge of going down with the ship there. And the cast clung together, they loved each other, and Gary had used the same trick that he used to save Odd Couple, and turned it from a single camera show to a 3-camera show shot in front of an audience, and also moving Fonzie more to the center of the stories, and that changed the trajectory of the show. And by the time Fred was on staff, season 4, I wrote my first episode, season 4. That was the year they went to number 1.
Yes.
You got somebody as Mayfield mystery guest. What's that?
Oh, that is a surprise guest for you, Bryon, if you want to let him in.
Well, who is it? I want to know. I don't have a Ring camera here.
Oh. It's Mark Bradley.
Mark Bradley. Oh, how
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Isn't
Cool.
it? Isn't it? Sure, sure, Mark Bradley. Crash when we're talking about Happy Days. All right, you can wait till the all right. You know,
Hi, mystery guest.
I do. Look at you,
Hey,
all grown
All
up.
right.
hi
Okay.
there. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hi there. Hey, I got sucked back into this world all of a sudden. Isn't this great? Hi.
Well, here, wait. Maybe I can show you something. Did I overshoot it? Hang on. Did I overshoot it? No. You see
All
your
right,
I
dear.
you
do.
gave me.
I see it. Yes, sir. I do. I see it.
Yeah.
You
See,
bet.
see the house, Beaver and Wally's house.
Yes.
Okay. Mark Bradley walked into our office in Orlando and gave me
Yes.
that. He built HO scale.
Hi, Mark.
Right.
I'm Fred.
Look,
Nice.
Hi,
on the
Fred.
Universal
Great.
tour.
Yeah,
Nice.
great to meet you. Very familiar
Great.
with your work, of course.
He
Well,
was
thank
there
you.
with
Great to
us
see you.
for a bit. Anyway, so Mark Bradley points to the to the bedroom window, the boys' bedroom window. Said, "This is the boys' room, right?" And I say, "Yep, since 1959." And he goes, "Well, actually, the way the stairs led out, the dormer on the other side of the house would be their bedroom." And I
Very
said,
good.
That's a
"Give this
realist.
guy a job."
Well, in hindsight, pointing out some mistake or something to an executive producer probably wasn't the best step for my
No, that
first
wasn't
meeting.
it's not a mistake. It was somebody who obviously
Well,
devoted a great deal of thought to the subject.
yeah, more than I should have, I'm sure. But if you had been a different person, that would not have gone the same way. So,
I don't
and
know about that. I like the
well,
way you're displaying your figures too. That's very nice.
yeah, well, taking a little inspiration from you. This is my toy room, at least for now, until we have to reconvert it for the grandson to sleep in here when he comes. But that's life. He'll enjoy it as well. But
You're a grandfather. Jesus Christ, you're a fucking kid.
yeah, tell me about it. I'm still absorbing that.
Okay,
So,
how old is your boy or girl?
grandson, a little over 1 year.
How fun.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. Can't complain. I mean, honestly, the path my life has been on, I won't credit you with everything. I picked a good girl to marry, but the fork in the road, Ryan, was you, honestly, just giving me that little chance and that little encouragement. And then honestly, the Beaver experience spoiling me. I mean, I found out very soon after that, and all the other productions I did, not every production atmosphere is the same positive atmosphere.
That's
Got
what, but so that what we did there was an extension of what we learned on Happy Days and what everybody
exactly,
from Happy Days has done and spread everywhere that they've
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah,
and all in all, that may be the show's greatest contribution. And in the book, we do have that list. It's a partial list of every series and huge movie that everybody from
yes,
Happy Days was involved in.
yeah,
And if you ever saw like the Gary Marshall documentary, how he brought
yes,
people together and
hmm,
did things like stupid things like having parades and making
yeah,
floats and costumes and
absolutely,
effects and stuff. Just
right,
things that accentuated teamwork, togetherness, making
yes.
work fun.
Which the softball did a lot too.
Yes, yes. Yes, I was excited today. I can still fit in my Happy
Ah,
Days jersey, barely, barely. But
I have one of those Cleavers baseball shirts that I almost
yeah, I
wore,
got
but
mine too.
I couldn't find it somewhere. But I think you're completely right about that largest contribution. I mean, I went from production work to theme park work. I did a lot of productions up through into the 2000s, then dried up a little bit here in Orlando. So, like a lot of us in production world, we ended up in theme park world, especially in the art end of things, set
Cool.
design, etc. And I still tell people, and it still goes back to my first experience on Beaver. It no matter Nothing else matters as much as the people working with good people and working in an atmosphere of creativity, but not just creativity, but you know, everybody working toward common goals. I mean, it's cliched, but it's the real deal.
Yes, no, it
I've
was there. It was especially there where everybody was not only working together but living together.
right, exactly. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Camp
you
Cleaver,
know.
you called it. It was like you know, it
Well,
was summer camp.
no, but then we got there, and
Well,
they had
yeah,
the
then you're
barbed wire around the building, and all of a sudden they were calling it concentration camp Cleveland.
well, of course. Yeah, in the middle
Not
of a
good,
construction zone
not
as
good, not
well.
good. But
So
all right, but we're talking happy days today.
yes, yeah, absolutely. Hey, great to see you. I mean, you know, if anybody takes
Wonderful to
anything
see
away,
you, Mark. Always a
yeah,
pleasure.
I mean, it's the same
Keep up
thing
with you on
from,
Instagram.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So
So wait, you have all
I
the
don't have the
Star
happy
Trek
days.
aliens too there?
Oh, everything. So we got
Very
Star
nice.
Trek. We got
Very nice.
just all kinds of toys.
That's
You know,
That's
half a
great.
generation later than your collection, but you know, still some overlap, but good stuff.
good
And
stuff.
you know,
Indeed.
same spirit, same spirit.
All right.
So thank you all both very much, and Fred, as you as well. I love your work going back to My Secret Identity and It's Your
Oh, thank
Move. I love those shows. Both of you, Bad News Bears before Beaver was one of my loves. That show was really fun.
Oh, thank you.
More fun than the movie to me, but that's just me. But great to see you all. And
Okay.
I don't have the Happy Days book yet, but I will be having it.
Oh,
Oh,
you
very
should.
good.
Simply should.
Yeah, Bryon, your book on your toy collection, it's not just a toy collection book. It is you sharing all your experiences, which is what blew me away with that book. And so
Well,
I
it only
thank you
took
for
me
doing
11
that.
years.
Yeah, well, you got
Oh,
to tell somebody, right?
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you all so much. Have a great
I
rest of your coffee.
I do want to point out, Mark
Yes,
and
sir.
I went to a couple of filming locations in Orlando a few years back.
Oh, really?
We
Yes.
went to the mall where
The day at the
Kelly
mall.
Yes.
where Kelly and Oliver were skipping school that day, and
Right.
they were in the
Yep.
mall and eating corn dogs,
Yep.
and then we went to the horse corral, which is all overgrown now, but
Uh,
Oh,
all
they
the
don't have
corral
it there
fences
anymore?
are still there.
Well, the building was still there. It's a Disney area, and it was still there, but they
Wait,
were
that was the hotel.
it was near Grand Cypress Resort, but it was
Yeah,
not
it was part of
adjacent.
Grand Cypress.
Yeah, it was Grand. It was part of it, but it was slated to be something else. You know,
Oh.
Disney's always moving and changing out here, but you know, I still drive around and find these old locations, and it brings back a lot of memories. I live right near the Florida Mall, which is where we did that
Right,
episode.
yeah.
I'm in there all the time, so it's like I'm still living in Mayfield
exactly. Very good.
in one little corner of my mind. But yeah, I shared that with Bryon Nelson, not Levant, when he was here, and that was a really nice time for us both to kind of, you know, reminisce over some of the and for me again, for me to share my experience with him, which you know was a trickle down from you sharing your generosity of spirit with somebody like me, and just showing him what the magic was in these areas, and it's really cool. So we don't forget. It
Well, I
becomes part of
appreciate
us,
it.
and good stuff. So thank you so much.
All right.
Good to see
Take
you,
care.
Mark.
All right.
Take care, man.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good seeing you, Mark.
Bye.
Very funny.
Very nice.
Very funny.
That's great.
So where are we now with Happy Days?
So Happy Days, yes.
What do you want to know?
Yeah. What do you
So-
know?
You guys came in later. My volume, for some reason, my Bluetooth isn't connected to my headsets, so I might as well take these out. But I'm getting feedback, so I apologize.
Oh, that's
But
correct.
anyways,
We don't hear it here.
you guys came later. Not too much later, because the one thing I didn't understand was the episode that was accused of bringing down the show was the shark episode, which is one of the most infamous and one of my favorite episodes of many people's favorites. It's always mentioned, but it's got that hat on that says, yeah, he jumped the shark. So that was like the downward.
Oh, Fred
Then it went
can
on
tell you all about that.
As you know, I wrote that episode, and it was interesting. We never, well, we discussed it in the book, obviously, and we never felt that was the truth because we did 164 more episodes after that. That was in 1978, and still had, great ratings. And in the book, we said, it might have gotten some gray hairs, but it's interesting. So many, it's like last week on a sports show, they said, someone jumped the shark, and it just continued. And then when I first, when that first came out, I felt like, I was embarrassed and wear a red letter F or S on my shirt and stuff. But then it didn't bother me afterwards for a while because, you knew that, it went on and it was very successful, but it was a very interesting time, obviously.
Oh, but the show, the third season kicked off with Fearless Fonzarelli. The fourth season had the Demolition Derby and Pinky Tuscadero, and Gary was looking for something big. And I always laugh at this because my mother, who was an avid TV watcher, always said you always can tell when a show's in trouble because they go to Los Angeles, they go to Hollywood. And here what is it, like the third week I'm on the show and they're going to Hollywood.
And Bryon thought, "Oh, I made a mistake." Yeah, that was.
I thought it was, I said to Bob Brunner when this all started, I said, is this the best idea for the show? And he goes, "It's what Gary wants."
And then, as you probably know, the one we did it was Henry Winkler's father said, "Hey, tell Gary Marshall that you water skied when you were a kid, you taught water skiing." And Henry just said, "No, Dad, no, Dad." And then eventually it happened. And the way it happened, as we discussed in the book, is Fonzie meets a kid, Malibu Beach, just this kid that Fonzie just didn't like at all. So they have a water skiing race. It's a tie. And as Bryon and I discuss this quite often, we can remember who wrote a joke 50 years ago, but we can't remember who came up with the tiebreaker. But so so it was just, but it's funny, but the reading, no one that, as I recall, complained and said, "What the hell are we doing?" And I think later we found that, like Donnie Mo said, "What the hell are we doing?
He's jumping a shark."
So he didn't do that stunt, I'm taking it.
No, but Henry is very look at the film. In order to even get out there, this isn't Lake Mendota.
No.
That's like glass. And he's not taking off from a pier. He's taking off from the shore in the ocean with breaking waves, right?
Yes.
And he's in a leather jacket. And if you watch his dismount after the jump, when he lets go of the rope, he glides into shore all the way up into the sand and just steps out of his skis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. This morning, for some reason, I woke up thinking about Henry Winkler's 80th birthday that he had like Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
And
October
I was
30th.
thinking that the man's vitality has never flagged. Have you ever, Freddie? I mean, is he pretty much exactly the way he's always been?
He is. He travels, for book tour. He went to Australia, and he's just traveling.
He's all over. He's all over. He's everywhere you look, and he's loving it.
Well, and that show, it's easy to buy because even if you are jumping the shark, he's the Fonz. So, he would bang on the jukebox and it would start.
Right. But let's not forget that he did fail his screen test. And they offered the job to Richie. So.
Yes.
So he auditioned for the Richie role and got Fonzie instead, or
no, in the Hollywood show.
And the episode.
Remember, it opened with the Paramount I actually have his card. I think it's in the book in the big collage. The card from the talent scout who brought him to L.A. And
Yes.
for some reason he read the scene with Richie that he
Ah.
was testing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they liked
Blackie.
Richie and didn't like Fonzie.
There's
And
acting. Wasn't that, huh? That was his first role, wasn't it?
what?
Henry Winkler?
No,
No,
oh God, no, no. Henry had done a lot of
There was
stuff
a
that.
story behind his casting, I thought,
No,
years.
Henry
oh, wait,
came
oh,
out after his first Broadway show closed on opening night. He decided to go to LA using a couple grand he'd made doing a commercial. He gave himself 30 days, and within those 30 days, he successfully auditioned for the Mary Tyler Moore show, and was very impressive. And they put him on Rhoda. They put him on Bob Newhart. They
yeah.
put him on the pilot for Paul Sands. Trust me, trust me. James L. Brooks saw something in Henry Winkler, and
Oh
and
yeah.
and and and, and during that same 30-day period, he auditioned for Happy Days. He went
Yes.
home for Thanksgiving, and the day after Thanksgiving, he got the call that Happy Days was going to series.
Right. And the casting story, maybe you're thinking about when Henry went into cast, you know, that a lot of people there, and kind of at the last minute, he decided he changed his voice. When he went in the room, he saw the cast director and said, "Okay, come over here, you sit there. Hey, nice hair." And he just kind of ad lib, you know, and people were just
In the words of Tom Miller, he took over the room.
right. It was another Hoff.
Yes.
Tom Miller, the executive producer, is from Whitefish Bay.
Yeah, he's from Whitefish Bay, and I know exactly where the place that inspired Arnold's is, which is now a Cop's Custard. And I
Oh,
Oh,
worked
it
right
is.
across
It's still there, though, huh?
it's the Cop Custard is still there, yes.
Wow.
Yes, and it's right across the street. I worked right across the street from it many years ago, but yeah, it's still there.
that's good to hear. That's
And
nice.
it was the Milky
Send me a
Way,
picture
right?
next time you see it. I'd like. Fred and I have shirts with the original logo on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I'll get a picture of it. And
Nice.
when the times you've been in Milwaukee, you stayed at the Pfister, right?
Yes.
Right, right. On
I
the
mean,
book.
of
Yeah.
course.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And the non-ghost wing. Uh,
Yeah. My mom and dad worked at General Electric. They worked at GE Medical Systems, and Christmas parties were at the Pfister all the time.
Oh,
yeah. It's beautiful.
it
It's a
is.
beautiful hotel. And yeah, it's over 100 years old. It's the oldest hotel in the state.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Very cool.
It was a fun trip.
So you guys, well, you came in a couple years later. Were you there when Hank Aaron was? I'm wearing a Hank Aaron jersey, actually. Were you
Yeah,
there when Hank Aaron made his
No,
appearance?
I was doing Mork and Mindy, I think, that year.
Okay.
yeah, I
Fred.
was there. That was,
Yeah.
yeah, he was great. It was fun having him on.
And Happy Days started in 74, right?
Right.
Correct.
74, correct. Yeah. And that was the year he retired from baseball.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And
Wow,
his last year was with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Right.
right.
He
But
still hit
yeah,
like 18 home runs that year.
yeah. Well, I think they only signed him just so that they could have him retire his number in
Oh yeah.
County
Oh.
Stadium. But yeah, no, because they were the Braves, but then Milwaukee got the Brewers, and the Brewers were founded in 1970, 4 years earlier, and then they got Hank Aaron, and you think about his rookie year was 1954,
Wow.
and I mean, yeah, it's a 20-year career.
Yeah,
But it's cool. It was so cool seeing him, because, and when you're a kid, you don't have a sense of time,
right.
but, because everything seems so long ago. But depending on what year that episode aired, he looked like, I mean, because that was in the 50s and he played in the 50s, so it's 20 years later. And he
Yes.
looked pretty good. I mean, he didn't need a whole lot of makeup to make him look that young. He still looked pretty young then.
Yeah, he looked good. It was a fun episode.
Yeah. 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 And the the Chuck Cunningham thing, you talk about, urban legends. You know, he was a what, a 2 episode, maybe 3 episode guy. He was in the early, then he's mentioned a couple times and then he fades away forever, and
Three different actors
Yeah, three
played
yeah,
Chuck
times.
Cunningham. It was an unsuccessful character. A, because he didn't live in the house.
yeah, that
B,
would,
B, he wasn't a serious. He was treated by his family, excuse me, as a dunce.
Right.
and he's off to college.
Right. Well, yeah, playing basketball. But so
Yeah.
so he wasn't. He didn't have the older brother relationship that Fonzie did. He didn't have the
Yeah.
he
So
didn't have the older the brother relationship that Potsy had with him
Right.
in the beginning.
yeah,
So
so
So Fred, what was your first episode you wrote? Do you remember?
sure. It was a shot in the dark where Richie makes the winning shot and is treated like a hero, gets a little cocky and stuff, and then at the end, kind of same situation. He needed to make 2 free throws to win the game. He makes the first one. The second one wasn't successful.
rooms out.
Yeah, rims out. So it was such a fun episode to do.
Yeah.
And
So
they built a half court.
yeah, it was great. Yeah, David Ketchum played the coach. Just a lot of fun. Fun scene in Arnold's where they kidnap Richie to keep him from going to the game, and Fonzie comes in and saves the day. So it was fun, a lot of fun.
I some years, a couple, not no, not last year actually, last year. Excuse me.
Mhm.
I was in a grocery store and I saw 50th anniversary Milwaukee magazine.
Yeah.
And no, that's where
You
I
said it to
found
me.
out the origin of the what the inspiration of Arnold's was. There's always been a rumor around here in Milwaukee that it was inspired by a place called Leon's Custard. And
Yes, we
which is
went to Leon's. We went to
did you?
Leon's when we were
Yeah.
in Milwaukee.
Did you? Yeah, that
Yes, of
that
course we
place has
did.
been around since 1946 and it's that's a legendary place. I lived
Yeah.
about a mile from there growing up.
Okay.
Not
Well,
very far from there, yeah. And we went there all the time. All the time.
that was
But
great.
it always threw me off. I knew it wasn't so because Leon's is a drive-in and Arnold's was a dine-in place. So it couldn't have possibly been.
I don't know.
Then I found out later that it was the Milky Way, which is now Cops, which
Oh,
is on the North Shore. That's in Glendale, just
Yeah.
neighboring of Whitefish Bay.
oh.
They're like right next to each other, Whitefish Bay, and I drive through Whitefish Bay and Glendale every single day. But
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first. Well, we played in Milwaukee and God, 70, 78 or 9, Brian, right?
You
Somebody
played
was.
the softball games
Yeah.
in
So
County
Oh yeah.
Stadium?
yeah, Bob Euchre was on the team, and it just
Oh, it was Bob Euchre. That it was nothing but former and current professional athletes.
Right.
Mike Hagan, Fuzzy Thurston. There, there were Bucks, Braves, Packers. I think Ron Miller, the old quarterback from Wisconsin, was playing.
Oh wow.
yeah,
And you beat them
No,
out of
we
these.
tied him 2-2. We
yeah.
would have
Oh,
won,
you
but
tied them.
somebody somebody gave Donnie Most bad coaching at third base. Uh,
And he was out at home and wasn't too happy, shall we say?
no,
No. Well,
no,
it's funny.
no, but then we couldn't play any more innings because the Brewers and the Rangers needed the field.
Ah, of
Yeah,
course.
how dare they? Yes.
Hmm?
I said, how dare they want the field when we're playing?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have to wait. I'm sorry.
Well, that was one of the toughest games we ever had. We played, we played the Lakers, Kings, we played the Dolphins, we played in Philadelphia. We played another game against nothing but two Hall of Famers, for
And
God's sakes, were
yeah,
on the
Bobby
field against
Chance,
us.
right?
Did Hank Aaron play in
No,
Milwaukee? It was
no,
no? That
no.
would have been cool,
That would have
actually.
been, yeah, that would have been marvelous.
That's too, they
He was
should have
gone by
arranged that. He was
then.
still in top condition at
Yeah,
that
And,
time.
and yeah, that was a great trip because we also played Wrigley Field on the same trip.
Yes.
The baseball team, we were very involved in the baseball team, and and in a way, it's where the cast learned to trust us, and and it was much easier when we ran the show because we had their trust, and that had been built up over years and years, and I don't think we ever betrayed that trust.
no, and we also played USO tours and
Oh God, yeah, the baseball team was a phenomenal. Marion Ross said in her book, and we stole it for ours, that she thought that they never would have survived without the softball team holding everybody together,
It's a good morale
and,
booster,
and being an
really was.
exemplar to the team concept that drove
right?
the show.
Yeah.
It's like Oliver Cleaver said about his dad's office baseball team. It's good for his morals.
Wow, good memory.
I don't remember that one.
It's good for his morals. It's
Yeah.
morale. But there was a lot of happy days mentioned in the Beaver Show, obviously for good reason. Um, Marion Ross made a cameo appearance
Yes.
that was really cool.
Right. And I
And
think,
what's that?
I'm sorry, one of our favorite episodes, Brian thought we should do a musical, and it was one of our best shows, and it was
I love the musical. I got in contact with the girl that played the 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 love interest of Kit.
Chelsea.
Yeah,
Shel,
Chelsea Morgan was her name, her character's name. Her
Yeah.
Melissa O'Connell is
right.
her real
You know,
name.
did you notice that she didn't act too much after that episode? Because no, I thought she
I,
was very good.
yeah, she does work for a car dealership now.
Oh, did she? Well,
I think she
please,
does like promos for
oh, cool.
for
Well, please,
Toyota.
please tell
Yeah,
her that Brian and I say hi, please. I think she's
absolutely.
very good.
How the
Yeah,
hell did you find her?
the
Like
internet is a
Facebook or
powerful thing.
something?
Huh?
Like Facebook or something?
No, her professional information is in professional like LinkedIn or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's on there.
God,
But
that's so,
yeah, and she looks very much the same.
yeah,
I didn't
okay.
see her in person or anything, but yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Brian and I wrote a couple of songs for that episode, which is a lot of
oh
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one with Brian Wilson in it too.
Yep.
Right.
That was really cool. And that
That
one
was very,
too. No, no, not that one. There was another one with a Happy Days reference with when it's same episode where Marion Ross showed up and where um Oliver was thinking, no, Oliver in a different episode. I can't remember which one, but he had mentioned the must have been, oh no, it was that same show because he was watching Happy Days, I think, while he was supposed to be working on a
Yes.
paper that he
Man's
was
greatest
supposed to do.
achievement. Yes.
And he says, must have been the other brother because she
Yeah.
was talking to him, but he
Right.
didn't put two and two together.
Yes.
And then
No,
there was
very
another
good.
episode where he that's in one where Christian Osmond made an appearance, and he and they're fighting over a girl, and Bomber steals the girl away. But in the beginning, he's like, they're in a cooking class, and Kelly says, he says, yeah, I think you have a chance with her. She looks like, or no, why don't you go for this girl? She thinks you look like Donnie most. And I and I see episodes of Happy Days, and I think, yeah, kind of like they could be brothers.
I don't remember that line either, but I remember them all.
Yeah,
But
that was
we
the one with,
remember a lot of Happy Days lines, much better
yes,
because
yes.
we're still watching them, unlike Beaver. You
Yeah.
know,
I
you
know.
don't just turn
Hilarious.
on the TV and find. I was flipping channels the other day and I watched Fearless Fonzarelli,
Oh,
part one.
Yes, yes.
So, but the fact is that here it is, 51 years now. The book's been out this week will make it a year,
Yes.
yeah.
and that Happy Days is still really maintained its place on the on pop culture's top shelf. It's still available in multiple sources. They're still making some merchandise, and if you just go on Etsy and just
Uh,
put in search Fonzie, and you'll
I
see
know.
the hundreds of
or yeah.
products that
It's
people
amazing.
make in tribute, and so you got to figure that people who were 8 years old in 1974 are how old now? Are pushing 60.
Yeah.
And they're the younger part of the audience.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing, I mean, well,
But
that,
it's like the show gained a new generation of viewers on Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
yeah,
and in that respect, yeah, I think that's almost the most important thing that happened to the show afterwards is that it had the ability to, I don't know how many kids are still watching Full House
I,
after the first run. I guess
yeah,
enough for a sequel series. But the Happy Days, it really it's just extraordinary how it's persisted. Uh,
yeah,
and I can only think of, I don't ever think it was the best written show on TV. Couldn't hold a candle to Soap or Barney Miller, Taxi. It's the strength of the characters and the actors who played them.
Yeah.
Are warm, generous people, and I always say TV can't disguise who you really are, and
right.
that's why like the TV moms are so beloved because their personal warmth
Yeah.
was just permeated everything they did and the characters they played.
Right.
Barbara Billingsley, June Lockhart,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane Wyatt, Harriet Nelson, both of who did Happy Days. Florence Henderson. Why are these women so terribly beloved? Because they're really great, cool women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right. And a
who
lot
were
of
playing
people, yeah,
housewives who are really working mothers and very progressive people.
yeah. And Jerry always said that Barbara, you didn't know where she left and where June
Right.
began.
Yeah.
They were
No.
so,
That's a very good. Yes, that's a very good way of saying it.
Yeah.
yeah, because they are
Same with
them.
Marion, right?
Yeah. And look at
Yeah.
Marion, 97. Wonderful.
Incredible.
Just
Yeah.
wonderful. You know. So what
Yeah.
else
We
you
have the
want? What
bronze. We
else
have the bronze.
what else you need to know?
When you did come to Milwaukee, did you go visit the Bronze Fonz?
Yes,
Yes,
of
we
course.
did.
We took a picture even.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. That is one of our big, that's a big, you know,
it's so big, no one knew where it was.
I know.
Yeah, we asked a couple of people walking by where it was, and then finally we found some of it.
Yeah, no, we did a 2 mile hike for something that was about 300 yards from us.
It was, yeah, like Lewis and Clark, but we found.
But
Oh, yeah, that's great.
you reminded me the baseball game in Milwaukee when Happy Days was there. Do you remember this, Fred? That like for a mile and a half from the stadium, people were lining the roads
Right.
to catch a glimpse of the bus.
Just, yeah, incredible.
And when they did the Browns the Fonz, everybody went and went to the Brewers game too,
Yeah.
in uniform, but didn't play. Was Ron
That,
there? No, Ron. Everyone was there but Ron, I think.
Right.
But
Right.
Penny was there. Was Cindy there even? Yeah, I think she was.
I think so.
Yeah, crazy, man.
so were those two brought in specifically to kind of form a spin-off, or did that
No,
just happen?
no. As we say in the book, you know, Penny had just the Paul Sands show had just ended, so Gary always wanted his family to work, and they were always be looking for something to bring in Cindy Williams, who did graffiti with Ron, and so that became the vehicle, and the response was so overwhelming that. Gans and Rothman, uh, 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 Gary asked them to write a scene after the date with Richie and Fonzie, where with the Cunningham's kitchen filling in for their kitchen.
Mhm.
They did a post-mortem on the date, and it was very much the last scene. It was the basis for the last scene of Laverne and Shirley, where that spelled out the differences. That Shirley was an optimist and Laverne was a cruel realist, and how their friendship was built on you know bridging that for each other, and so it was, I believe, just 7 weeks later that Laverne and Shirley debuted. It
Yeah.
was like a race, and there weren't two separate writing staffs at the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Everybody did
Yeah.
Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days, and Laverne
Yes.
and Shirley, as we say in the book, was the highest rated premiere in ABC's history and bumped Happy Days
Right.
eventually out of the top slot.
Just as an aside, I went to high school with Cindy Williams, and that's how I started in the business. Cindy called me and said,
Ah,
doing the show called Laverne and Shirley, would you be interested in being my assistant, kind of a gopher? When I leave the set for the day, you could go to the writer's room. And that's how that call got me into the business.
Yep.
oh, that's very cool. That's kind of a good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing that was a little far out, and Laverne and Shirley that was a great show.
Yeah.
And Mork
Oh
and
yeah.
Mindy was too, but that was such off the wall stuff.
Well, Bryon can
Uh,
tell you about that. After Happy Days, Bryon left, not left, but went on to run the show. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't. Yes. No. Gary Marshall put me aboard a sinking spaceship. No, the show was burning out of its own energy, and it was a difficult assignment. He was, you know, I'll say it. He was doing a lot of drugs, and he was starting his movie career, and you know, there's a lot going on with him, but you know, how do you not love writing for him? You know,
right.
you know, the the night that we saw him on his first day on Happy Days, and we saw a run through of him, everybody walked off saying spinoff, because you recognized, as Henry Winkler said in the book, you were in the company of genius.
yeah, just blew everybody away.
Yeah.
And it was so obvious. It was so obvious.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, and we were through the roof, because
Yeah, totally.
what was going to be the worst show in the history of the series was the reading for this show was so dismal. Yeah.
Well, you go 10 years. I mean, that's a good run.
No.
That's a
Oh,
that's a
Yeah.
happy
long
to, yes,
time.
but Mark
Mark,
was
yeah,
4 and should have been 2.
right. Yeah, yeah.
They would have done much better in streaming. But it was a tough show, and it was a tough show to do.
Well, because the subject matter, it's hard to sell. I remember watching a documentary on the Incredible Hulk, and the director and the creator of that show, he says, when you got so many things in your story that is so off the wall that it's hard to follow it. He remembered a line from George Burns, which was, you know, if you're gonna lie, put as much truth around it as you can. So if you're gonna try selling to an audience that this little guy turns into this big monstrous green guy, you better sell it really well, because it's a hard sell. And if you can sell that,
Well,
that's the thing. But if
well,
you
Mark
have
was easier to sell than the Hulk, I think.
Yeah.
So now, Bryon, how did you bridge? I know your dream, and we talked about this before. Your your dream to revive the Beaver Show was when you were in high school. You wanted to do it.
I
How did
no,
you?
it's when I first watching an episode. I said to myself, "Gee, I wonder what those guys are doing today."
Oh.
And that was when I was like 16, and that was the genesis of it. When I first got to LA, I made a list of things I wanted to do, and on that list were 3 words: "Still the Beaver."
That
And
is a clever title, and it is, yeah. It would have been nice if that would have stuck around.
it we tried. uh,
So when did you know it was time to execute that idea, and
as soon
how
as
did
I
you
had a
do
producer
it?
credit.
Okay, yeah, that does help. And a writing credit,
Yeah,
writing
after Bad
credits.
News Bears, Nick Abdo, who was a Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley line producer, uh, Robert Harris had been the ABC rep on the show at the beginning of Happy Days. He was running Universal Television. We met with him. He they were all in. It took years. Almost lost control of it. We did the movie of the week. I was very unsatisfied and pressed for a series. And the Disney Channel bought it. We did 27 for them. They canceled it. And Universal did the incredible move of keeping the show in production while they looked for a new home. And wanted to, didn't want to wait a year for the kids to get older and shit. They believed in it, and they found the home on Ted Turner, which at the time was the largest order in the history of television.
Yeah,
74 episodes.
Wow.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
as a
then
matter
we,
of fact, what
and the Writers Guild strikes almost killed everything, but we got through that and moved to Orlando for our last year.
yes. Yes, I remember, speaking of everyone coming to Milwaukee, I remember Jerry and Ken came to Milwaukee back in 1992, and they were sitting in for a radio personality here in the
Oh,
city. And so they were there for a week. They were sitting in for
really?
the guy for a week. And they had a contest. They had a contest of trivia questions, and if you answered them correctly, you could eat dinner with them. They were having an autograph session at
Oh,
Serb
fun.
Hall, uh, in the southwest side of Milwaukee. And so, which anyone could go to, but if you could have dinner with them, that'd be cool. Now, at that time, 1992, I was 14, and I called in because the question was, and it was such a basic question. I mean, if you're a fan of the show, the basic question. It was, what two addresses of the cleavers.
Oh,
And I knew it from the top of my head, but I had this reference book and I made, I just double checked to make sure. So then when I went to go make the phone call to answer that question, they they were talking on the air and they were saying, that's going to be a hard one. That's going to be hard. It's going to be, and this is before the internet. It's going to be hard to find that. Let's let it cook for a couple of days and see if, they can figure it out. And so I called anyway, and then the producer picked up the phone, and then I chickened out and hung up because I thought maybe I thought that he'd say, no, we said that we were going to give him a couple of days. No, no. And now thinking hindsight, they probably would have been like, oh, this 14-year-old kid knows, and it's only been 10 minutes. But yeah. And so they went to Serb Hall at the end of the week and they did autographs and stuff. And I remember I had this book that I just got for Christmas. Um, it was all about TV history, and it had a picture. It had a lot of Leave It to Beaver stuff. It had Jerry in his short pants, and it had Ken and Tony, and there was a picture in there. It was talking about the new Beaver show, and there was a picture of that's where it said the amount of episodes, and the picture of Ted Turner with the Letterman sweater on,
Yeah.
which
oh,
was really cool.
oh,
But
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. So I got to meet Ken, which was nice, and I got to meet Jerry. I've met quite a few of them, and I've talked to all the cast members of the
Oh,
new
good.
Leave It to Beaver, which was very nice.
Oh, that is nice.
It was
That's,
very nice. And yeah, it's too bad. And I know Bryon knows this. Fred, it's sad that the show is not out there anymore, unfortunately, but they can be found on YouTube.
Not in
All
very
all
good
of them
shape.
are on YouTube.
all of them. Oh, that's good. That's great to hear.
Yeah, yeah. There was a guy that had all his original recordings, all the originals from the Disney Channel all the way up to the end of TBS, and they're really good quality too. And
I think we did a lot of great episodes. And
yeah, Scott Hetrick is that's his channel, and
Oh, really?
he's got them all, and they look amazing for the age that they are.
oh, good.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so I got to go to this funeral. So what else do you need on Happy Days?
Well, I think we're good.
Good.
I you
Well,
know yeah, and the book. I mean, this thing. I could use this to see over my dash, and I could put that other. I could see like over a truck's dash on that other one. But yeah, this thing is amazing.
Oh, well,
I
thanks.
love this. It's.
It was a
I mean,
great.
the pictures are phenomenal. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
and
Well, we
there's
wish we
another
had.
spinoff.
Well,
There's another
we
another
wish
spinoff
Paramount
right
hadn't hidden all their photos or thrown them out.
here. I know why. That makes no
Most of
sense.
those, everything from the collections of cast and
Yeah,
Jerry Paris and us. Almost nothing from Paramount.
Yeah.
that's yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
and we paid
amazing.
them a lot of money for those rights.
Yes, and Bryon, I got your card that said, "Did you spell my name right this time?" Which you did. You did.
Good. All right.
And I was just wondering, did you coach Fred? Fred did misspell my name on one item,
No, no,
but
I don't think you got
but
it.
but 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 on one it was spelled correctly. The one with both of your signatures on it.
Excellent. Well, gosh, I'm sorry. I thought it was so careful. All right.
It's a comical joke in the family. My dad's got the same name, and so he's been called Byron all his life.
Oh,
And he grew up during the Byron Nelson golfing years. So
oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, I could have known. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, that's the first thing I thought of. All right. Well, it's
yeah,
been a pleasure.
yeah. Thanks so
always.
much.
I gotta jump in the shower and make myself presentable.
All
Well,
right.
sometimes we have to do that.
Yes, we do.
All
All right.
right.
All
Good
right. Thanks so
talking to you.
much.
That was very fun to bring on Mark Bradley. Nice guy.
Yes, yes. I'm glad I could do that
All
for
right.
you.
So I'm going to stop the recording here.
Okay.
Take
Stop
care,
the
Brian.
recording.
Thanks.
All right.